show us much more than music, it's ministry.
One of the areas that are real near and dear to me is the area of marriage. And it's because I've had a personal experience of a real struggling marriage and no insight on what it meant to navigate that marriage to a place of health and maturity. And man, for years at a time, just struggled to try to figure out, okay, now how do I be a healthy husband? And my wife struggling to figure out, now how do I become a healthy wife? All in the midst of being in a church, all in the midst of being in a community, all in the midst of doing ministry. And so what we began to do is, I began to see some consistent patterns. One, isolation will kill your marriage. You know, I've been taught growing up that a couple needs to keep their marriage to themselves, not share and, you know, divulge information because people were messy and could bring harm to it. I didn't also realize that refusing to give information also protected you from wisdom, also kept you from health, also kept you from life. And so we began to share our life, you know, just experimenting. And our marriage was radically transformed because God started using wisdom. We were no longer hiding behind the appearance of a smiling couple, but we were a couple who were being honest, and we were getting the appropriate teaching, truth, health to our marriage. And so we began to do this with other couples who said, you know, this has got to be something universal, I guess. And so we began to meet with other couples just to see if it worked with them. Well, it did. And their marriages started growing. And I started going to seminary and reading books. And I was like, oh my gosh, God sees the marriage like the church. I never knew that. I just thought marriage was another notch within the church, not recognizing that marriage is a mini church. It's a reflection of the grander covenant community. Covenant marriage sits within covenant community. So we began to meet with couples, and it just began to expand. And so out of that, we were forced to create an organized organism called Build a Better Us. Build a Better Us is a network of churches or a network of married couples and engaged couples who support one another so that each couple can care for their own marriage. We needed to see a movement. We anticipated a movement growing. Since I've been a part of a movement, I understood movements could happen from small things. So we wanted to see this with a focus group, but with an expanding group of people that we would reach. So we're a movement, we're a network. So we don't meet we're not just in one area, one town, one type of people, but there's different types of people there. Not only that, but we're couples that support one another. You know, the greatest help that comes from community. That you have other people wrestling with you through blind spots and tensions in your life so that as a whole we can become healthy. But at the end of the day, you can have all the network, all the strategy, all the community, but unless you, what we call care for your own marriage, then you will not grow. And so the last thing is, we knew it has to be personalized. So we're a network of married couples who support one another so that each couple can care for their own marriage. I mean, it's just been a phenomenal experience just to see couples authentically grow and then spread that health to their families, their kids, to their neighborhoods, communities, to their churches. I mean, it's been a mind-blowing experience to see all this health come out of authentic transformation. And so that's what Build a Better Us does. Can I plug my conference?
Yeah.
Good. One of the ways that we connect with people so that it doesn't feel overwhelming and intrusive is we do a 2-day marriage conference, man, where we come in, we create a romantic setting. There's dim lights, there's dinner, and we come into a church and we legitimately, or church or organization, we come into a church or organization and we put on a conference. We do a 2-day conference where we are connecting as couples, we're working through issues of marriage, and we're encouraging one another to move forward as we've learned from the weekend in marriage. And so it's called Pursuing the Extraordinary. If you go to buildabetterus.com, then go to book a conference. We'll come to different areas. We've traveled to different places across the nation already, so that couples can begin to get glimpses of the help that some of our small groups are even just experiencing on a day-to-day basis. So that's what we do. That's what I do.